Utah had Stockton and Malone. UConn has Beckers and Edwards. Now, the latter is much less heralded and does not make any NIL money as they are from Canada, an overseas athlete, but she is just as important to UConn's hopes and dreams for the 23-24 season as Paige Beckers. ESPN recently did a profile on Aaliyah Edwards, and I suggest you go read it as it has some good background family information about how her brother, who unfortunately passed away while she was still in high school due to a cardiac issue at a young age of 27, how he basically sort of mentored her or coached her growing up, sort of working her on her post moves and just helping turn her into a really strong player. The overall theme of the article is that she's just a pro, I mean, from a young age. So she moved from her hometown of Kingston, her junior year of high school, to go to a prep school and lived with a host family, which was obviously difficult, but she dug in and did the work and got a lot of college offers and chose UConn. She wasn't the most heralded recruit, but she came in and did solid work her freshman year, averaging just over 20 minutes a game and 10 points per game. But then her second year, she had a little bit of a sophomore slump, if you like, so her points per game dipped to 7.9 despite her minutes going up to 24 minutes a game. The championship game against South Carolina also left a bit of bad taste in her mouth as she went 4 for 9 and only managed to get 2 rebounds during that game. Her other takeaway was that her game was too one-dimensional, and she really decided over the summer to work on her jump shot and really have that mid-range game to complement a post game. And this has really paid off for her because now teams have to go out and just can't let her have that jump shot, which has set her up to, she has oftentimes gets a lot of her baskets on the drive going to the basket when they come out to challenge her jump shot. So her points went up her junior year to 16.6, and now she's averaging 17.7. And her shooting percentage as well, it's like 58% her junior year and now 60%, and she's just solid. So she continues to rebound as well, averaging 8.8 rebounds, and she's doing everything that UConn needs her to do at this point, which is play strong interior defense, rebound, and be the second dependable scorer. In her last 5 games, she's gone for 23, 22, 33 and 18 points. So it feels like she's really starting to lock in for the home stretch of the season. But the upcoming game tomorrow versus South Carolina will be another big step for her, as it will allow her to show that she hasn't just been eating against lesser competition, as even with Cardoso out, South Carolina still brings it in the front court, as they'll have Ashley Walken, Sanaya Fagan, and Chloe Kitts, not to mention they'll even bring in Sakima Walker, so they'll still have size and depth and talent. In Dan Conley's podcast, he was saying off the record, it seemed like UConn was a little bit disappointed that Cardoso wasn't going to be there, because you want to measure yourself against the best, and I imagine that is for Edwards as well, that she would have preferred Cardoso being there, because even if UConn does somehow get the upset, it's going to be slightly hollowed out a tiny bit, as naysayers will say, well, Cardoso wasn't there and that really hindered their performance. But it would still be a massive victory for UConn if they could come in to South Carolina and get the victory. It would be unbelievable confidence booster for them. I think most UConn fans would concede that a victory in Columbus is unlikely, but that's why you throw the ball up and see what happens. The main issue UConn has is they need everything to go right to be able to win. And the whole thing with their season, to make a Final Four, they need to have an unbelievable run where all the freshmen perform. It's just a real tough ask because they're depending on so many freshmen. Shade and KK Arnold and Ice Brady is, for all purposes, a freshman as well, due to missing her true freshman year due to her knee injury. And in some ways, it makes it hard not to look to the 24-25 season and wonder if Edwards is coming back or if she will declare for the WNBA. I think most feel like Paige Beckers is returning to UConn, just from those statements she said in the previous press and one of the press conferences, where she said it wasn't about location, like going to Los Angeles. It was more about being happy, and she's happy being around her friends at UConn and playing, and it seems like her mindset is the WNBA will always be there. Why would I leave when I could still play another season and help my legacy here at UConn? And in some ways, that could be the same question asked for Aaliyah Edwards, as she might want to return for another year just to try to cement her legacy as well. It's an Olympic year, and she's hoping to make the Canadian Olympic team. Would that give her more time to prepare and have less stress going into the Olympics? I think UConn fans would be beyond excited if she said, yep, I'm coming back for a 5th COVID year, as that would really set them up for 24-25. It's the one hole they have. They can't really depend on their front court with Patterson and El Alfie returning from injuries as well. Ice Brady is still developing. But if you knew you had Edwards there, then you knew you would have one piece, and somebody certainly else would develop with her. You think if you have those 3 players, one would come along and would fill the final hole in the UConn puzzle, as they would be a totally complete team going into 24-25. If she does opt for the WNBA, then I would think she would go number 3 or 4 in the WNBA draft if Paige Beckers does return to UConn. I know ESPN's mock draft has Cardoso going for, but I would probably take Aaliyah Edwards over Cardoso, just because I think that power forward position, a power forward that can shoot, is just an unbelievable commodity in the WNBA, where the 6'7" center, they can be played off the court at times, just if other teams decide to go small. And I just think the power forward position is very underrated. That's why I'd probably put her as the number 3 pick. I think in terms of the power forwards, I think she's ahead of Angel Reese. I think Angel Reese is a tremendous player, a great rebounder, but still I think there'll be overriding concerns about her shot. That Edwards has developed her shot, but I don't know if anybody really trusts Angel Reese's shot, and that might be that really determines where she will go long term. In regards to is Angel Reese going to be a star in the WNBA, or is she going to be like Draymond Green, the player that does everything, which is still a heck of a player, but you get limited on offense, obviously, if people don't have to go out and guard you. And then the unknown factor, I guess, with the fours. I looked at the fours earlier on in another video. Elisa Peely. The question with her, who does have to go to the draft, I think teams are going to be concerned about her size. So I think she will be taken lower down, but she's a boom bust pick as well. And ultimately, that's why I think Aaliyah Edwards would be the first big off the board after Cameron Brink, as she's just going to be a solid pro player regardless, as she has size, she can shoot, rebound, and play defense, and that's what teams want, a little bit of certainty. But I have no doubt UConn fans are saying, nah, you need to come back, Aaliyah. You need to work on your 3-pointer. That's the one hole in your game, and that's what you need to come back to UConn for, to get that 3rd level of your game. But whatever she decides to do, she will get a solid ovation on her senior night, as she is just the classic hardworking UConn player that has improved themselves over the duration of their career by putting in the hard work. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot for watching. Good night.